just because you're a singer doesn't mean you go walking around the streets of New York singing.
So,
You know,
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with the recent physique update from Michael Krizo. And I have got to say the man just blew up so damn fast after his shoulder surgery. As you guys can see that right here. He weighs 308 pounds right now in this latest update and on his road to the New York Pro and hopefully the Pittsburgh Pro as well. That begins in just a few months. So where would have Michael Krizo placed at this past Miss Olympia if he did not get injured? Well, I believe he would definitely have been somewhere in the top 8 because the one show that Krizo did this year, that was Emperor Classic Spain, and before that show, majority of the people, they had Michael Krizo beating William Bonac and Bonac placing 7th at this year's Miss Olympia. That just proved that Krizo at his best, that would have been in that same range, somewhere from top 7 to top 10. And I have got to say, if you really want to see how good Michael Krizo really is, look at either his Olympia appearance last year, where he placed top 7, or Prague Pro after the Olympia last year, where he placed 2nd behind Samson Dauda. So Krizo just has so much muscle mass, so much freak factor. And although he isn't working with his old coach, and together both these guys, they brought some great looks to the stage. But in terms of his back progression, Michael definitely needs to hire someone who has a lot of experience in terms of training people because he's trying to bring up a lagging body part, which is a genetic problem for him. And the thing is, no matter what he does, no matter how he trains, that is always gonna remain a weak body part for him. But he can definitely improve on that. Next up, we have an update from Horse MD, aka Marcelo, working on his back because that is the one gap that he needs to fill in his physique. The waist has grown over the years. Now that cannot be reversed. The best he can do is implement more midsection control, more vacuums, and I have got to say he did that quite well in his last show, which was the Big Man Weekend, where he placed 2nd behind Akeem Williams. Now I personally think that Horsemdi got a bit unlucky, especially at that last show, because a top 10 Olympian, a veteran, Akeem Williams, decided to do the Big Man Weekend, and that too 8 weeks post Olympia, because normally none of these top guys who have been prepping for a long time, they continue to diet for such a long duration after the Olympia. I mean 8 more weeks, that was just ridiculous. So if Akeem wasn't there, Horsemdi could have qualified for the Olympia next year, and he beat a lot of these guys like Emir and Presti, meaning that the judges, they really do like his physique, especially when he is on. Now he can definitely make it to the Olympia stage next year, and it all depends on which show he does enter next year and what kind of competition shows up at that show. So Horsemdi has one of the best quads in the men's open bodybuilding at the moment, and that is something that so many of the top bodybuilders desire. For example, Nick Walker, he once made that statement that if he had the quad sweep that Horsemdi had, he would have won the Olympia by now, and that too a number of times. So we do not really know whether Horsemdi will ever be able to have an upper body as impressive as his legs. But if he continues to improve with every passing year, and especially his back, he will certainly make it to the Olympia stage many times in the future. What a great throwback posted by Mike Sommerfeld from his amateur days, going up against the reigning Arnold Classic champion Vasily Vizers, and many years later, we are gonna witness that same battle on the Arnold stage as Mike and his coach Neil Hill. They are so pumped up for this one that this is gonna be Mike's first major title, and they are 100% confident that he is gonna win this show. So Mike has been putting a lot of physique updates after the Olympia this year, and our first impression was that just because he has got his Olympia qualification for next year already, he might just focus on one show, and that is the Olympia next year, and try to focus on be the 4th man ever in the last 10 years to win a classic physique Olympia title. But if Mike wins the Arnold, and that too in a very dominating fashion, and the way the Olympia went this year, it should be a comfortable win for Mike here, and he's gonna be the hot favorite to win the Olympia as well next year. So what weak points does Mike really have? I'm gonna say none. He has an insane amount of density and thickness front to back, top to bottom. He is so damn complete from every angle. And if anything, Mike can get even better for 2025. The condition that Mike brought to the Olympia stage this year that was mind-blowing in every regard. He was a true professional on the stage. And you don't beat someone like Chris Bumstead in multiple shots unless you are one of the best in the world. So looking forward to this new package from Mike Sommerfeld as he starts his diet for this upcoming Arnold.
I love Breon. I know you like him too. Like I say, I'm good friends with Breon. I've always tried to guide him in his career with unsolicited advices, of course. So this isn't a knock on him per se.
No surprise there at all that Breon Ansley's recent video, in which he gave the blueprint of everything that he took, the compounds, the dosages, that has a lot more views than every other single video that he has posted in almost 2 years. Now, from a fan's perspective, I think majority of us, we really appreciate that the man came forward and he told everyone what an Olympia champion has taken so that there is no ambiguity, especially in this day and age of social media, where we see so many outrageous cycles by such amateurs that are being run by people who aren't even pros. But then again, you must listen to the latest episode of Bob Shigarello's YouTube channel, where Bob and Sean Ray, they had a totally different take on this whole thing and this action of Breon.
I feel we have a responsibility to kind of be aware of our audience. There's a lot of young kids. I mean, this isn't Australia. You don't have to be 16 or 18 years old to be on Instagram. I mean, you could be as young as 8, 9. My grandson knows who Chris Bumstead is.
Clearly, they disagree with Breon putting his protocol out there. And you have to kinda agree with Sean Ray on one point. That would Breon dare to have done the same, reveal his cycle and the dosages, if he was still the classic physique Miss Olympia champion or not? Or if he was still a title contender?
Look, you could have the best, lightest, most safest protocols that your doctor personally gave you. That can kill somebody else. Medicinally healthy, smart, all of that stuff doesn't really cater to the end goal. It's like, if you won, would you still be having that video come out? I don't think so.
Now, I am interested to hear your opinions in the comments below. So there is a percentage of people out there who do not believe that this was Breon's full cycle. And there are also a whole lot of people out there who applauded Breon Ansley so much for being fully transparent. But if you listen to this discussion of Bob and Sean, that is gonna give you a totally different perspective. And they do make some valid points in that discussion. So that is what we truly call the off-season phase that Peng Yunlong is currently rocking right now. Plus, that strength that he has at the moment, that is just nuts. Especially for a guy of that height, that is as impressive as it gets. So we have been waiting for 2 years now for Peng to announce when he's planning to make his debut in the men's open class. Because the last time he competed, that was at the Olympia 2 years back in the 212. And even for the very first time, you could see he was just way too big for the 212 division. And he had to lose quite a lot of muscle to make that weight. Now in terms of how rounded his quads are and their entire relation to his waistline, that has to be one of the most impressive looking proportions in the entire pro league at the moment. But his back was just way behind, especially in comparison to his front. So it was literally impossible for Peng to bring up a lagging body part, a genetically weak area with a weight cap hanging over his head. And he just could not evolve while staying in the 212. So I have no idea what's stopping him from prepping for an open show, because it has already been 2 years and he has been in a very long off season, and Peng has really gotten enormous, and he obviously has to do a prep to see how much improvements he has been able to make, how much muscle he has been able to pack on. So hopefully 2025 is gonna be that year where Peng is gonna jump into an open show and make a name for himself. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.